up, fam? How are you? I am honestly getting over a cold. We are here for May 2023 predictions, but right now it is not May. It is actually February 1st. It's a very soggy, rainy, stormy day outside. It was kind of icy, but it started to melt. And so that's exactly how I feel. Soggy, gray, I was icy, now I'm starting to melt. But we're here, I'm so excited. I got an unexpected night off from work, so I thought I would take a moment to make a video to look ahead at May to add to our 2023 predictions for our monthly looks ahead. For me, I find it very helpful. And I've been doing this for the past few years. In January, I usually do a month by month look ahead for myself for the whole year. And it kind of gives me sort of like a timeline or like an outline, like a story outline for like what the whole year, like the themes that are going to present. And it's not a lot of detail because we fill in the gaps as we make our choices, right? But we kind of see what lies ahead as far as our major themes that we'll be working with and we'll be learning from this year. Major influences and energies over the month. So very fun, very exciting. So far, January has proven to be right on point, and the energy of February is definitely feeling like it's lining up with the video. So you guys go check out that 2023 predictions playlist. My name is Liz. Welcome to Light Love Magic. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe, comment, share, do anything that you can and would like to support getting this video out to other people. I'm trying to grow this channel, so every little bit you do helps. And you guys, I've started moving up in the algorithm a little, so it's helping me a lot. So every little thing that you do helps me. Okay, so let's get our energy centered. We're going to take a look at, I'm going to pull a card from the Wild Unknown Archetypes, the Goddess Power Oracle deck, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirits. I'm going to pull a few tarot cards from the Witches Tarot, Modern Witches Tarot. I'm going to pull a few clarifying cards from my own custom deck, Straightforward Oracle. And then we will finish with a bird messenger from Winged Enchantment. All right, these have been really good so far. So I am excited. Okay, let's see. What is our archetype that we're going to be working with in May? Ooh, the Warrior. I love this. Okay, so interesting, because the storm came up for us in April. And so there must be something that we are fighting for in May, and we are overcoming and we're persevering. There's a rainbow here and there's a diamond in the position of the third eye. So I feel like whatever was the divine storm that's playing out in April, it's setting you up to fight for a promise of fulfillment. I see that this is 10. 10 is completion. So, and there's a rainbow here. So this makes me think about the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is about domestic bliss and harmony and having fulfillment and satisfaction and security and inner peace and joy and bliss and healthy long-term relationships around you that are supportive and nurturing. This diamond in that third eye makes me feel like there's been enlightenment and there's love that's begun to happen. And I feel like whenever something new happens, there's an immediate challenge. And so this is our first sort of challenge within our new life, within the new gifts that are coming in. This is the first time maybe that we're experiencing the first set of new circumstances and challenges, right? Because at every level, our opponent up levels with us, right? And so if we're just starting, this year, and we're really kicking off in February and March, we're taking advantage of some opportunities. There's opportunities we're challenged come April, And so it's up to us to fight for them and use this enlightenment. Something is really good. There's something deep to be had from this challenge. There's the snake here, which is about shedding the old skins to allow the growth to come, right? And the skull left behind by the bull, which is Taurus, right? So we're in that time of Taurus in May, at the end of April and the beginning of May. So should be during the season of Taurus. Interesting. Let's read from the archetypes about warrior. It just occurred to me that the cards were numbered. Like, that always seems so random before. And then I was like, oh yeah, I could have just checked. It's like, where is it? Okay, the warrior, the samurai, the soldier, the advocate. Ooh, maybe somebody's got your back and they're really fighting for you. Oh my God, wouldn't that be something for a change, right? To have someone in your corner, like, really supporting you, like, oh my God, I mean, that would be so nice. But I mean, it might be that we are being the warrior as usual. The samurai, the soldier, the advocate. Hold on. Oh, I gotta get my little Ricola. My throat's getting itchy. I can tell I'm gonna start coughing. Okay. Sorry about the lozenge. I know it's annoying to hear my mouth sounds, but I don't want to start coughing. We often envision the warrior as an unarmed... Oh, sorry. Let me start that over. We often envision the warrior as an armored figure with sword in hand moving blindly toward battle. Yet the deeper aspects of this archetype bring us face to face with death itself. The warrior stands precariously at the edge of life and death, trusting the eternal to guide the sword's blade. The warrior's work requires presence, alignment, and purpose. If and when the warrior loses its center, meaningless confrontations and violence are their default response. When the warrior loses its center, meaningless confrontations and violence are their default response. I feel that is the thing that stands out to me the most about this, because for whatever reason, I felt like the storms that were coming in April have to do with relationships. And I'm not sure whether this is family, friends, lovers, suitors. I don't know yet, right? But we'll find out. But I have a feeling this is going to be about emotional storms. The warrior's work requires presence, alignment, and purpose. If and when the warrior loses its center, meaningless confrontations and violence are their default response. When this card appears, it is important to question the battle at hand. It is likely a great one with deep roots and long-standing tensions. The actions you take will stay with you long after the dust settles, so choose wisely. Oh, choose wisely, brave one. As you draw your sword, realign with the eternal wisdom within. Then surrender to the battle. Fierce clarity. Oh, so when this archetype is presenting in a light way, fierce clarity, purposeful action, resolve, resilience. So, and I think that that's the requirement. I think that's the assignment of the month. It's like after the storm is going to come clarity, fierce clarity, and a willingness to do what needs to be done. And there may be conversations that have needed to happen that end up happening. And I think that it's just a warning here to center yourself, be wise and be compassionate, because what you say can't be unsaid. You know, actions you take can't be untaken. So be careful, you know, be precious with the hearts that are meaningful to you. But be strong and follow the truth that's coming to you that you know is right for you in this moment, right? But something I think needs to be expressed. Something's coming up in April, and it's being confronted and resolved in May. And even if, like, whatever's happening in April is related to the May thing. If and when the warrior loses, okay, oh yes, okay. When dark, threats, savagery, abandoning mission and values. Interesting. So when light, the warrior has fierce clarity, purposeful action, resolve, and resilience. When dark, threats, savagery, abandoning mission and values. You know, it's funny, I almost feel like in April and May, it's going to be a face-off between two warriors. And one of them might be acting like the dark warrior. And it's going to be up to us to be the light warrior and choose clarity, take purposeful action, resolve, resilience, not get dragged down, and not be dragged into negativity, you know, not dragged down by threats or savagery, or someone who seems to abandon, you know, something that you thought you shared that was important or something like that, you know. Without a true purpose, manifesto, or oath, the warrior is lost. What do you stand for? What are you willing to rise in the name of? What are you willing to rise in the name of? Write it out. Be careful, as the warrior implies war. The two go hand in hand. Those who defeat others are strong. Those who defeat themselves are mighty. Interesting. Because today, too, our daily message here in February 1st was all about dissolving these ego shells, right? Like a death and rebirth, right? So it looks like we're going to have like a miniature confrontation and a death and rebirth cycle in April and May. So just bat down the hatches, prepare for the storm, but be a warrior of light and be strong, and don't be pulled down into needless battles, right? Choose which hills you want to die on. Be very careful about how you present and what you say and how you say it and the actions you take. Pause, go slow. Make conscious, free will choices. Don't be reactive when this happens. This is your first big test, or maybe the next one of the earlier tests, you know, but one of the next big moments where it's like you get to really embody that new version, that new higher version of yourself when confronted with, you know, a challenge, a meaningful challenge. Okay, what is our goddess archetype that is going to help us through this time? Who do we need to embody? Okay, interesting. Saraswati and Yi, the sun. So interesting. I was also, this is really tying into today's reading about self-mastery and it coming from illumination from the sun, from the Christ, the sun, from the light. It's like this Christ consciousness that is birthing within us is helping us become more still inside and self-mastered. Christ was called the master by his disciples, not because they thought they had to obey him, but because he was a master of of himself and of the material world. He became a master of the microcosm and the macrocosm. And so we are in this battle this month with ourselves first, in a battle to establish self-mastery. And this battle is there to be the conditions to test us if we can be the cause, if we can be self-mastered, if we can be consistent and eternal in what we've been building and stable and hold strong in the light and certainty and ground ourselves within this recent enlightenment, this recent expansion, right? Or are we going to be reactive, right? Is the pendulum going to swing right and left, back and forth? Are we up one day, down the next, up one day, down the next? Or do we see the outer circumstances around us and choose that sword of truth, that central column? You know, when Jesus said, be still and know that I am Lord? Is it I am God? I don't know. Be still and know is not swinging the pendulum. I'm fine, I'm faithful, I'm scared. I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm faithful. We're not I'm good 1 minute, I'm bad the next. I'm up, I'm down. I'm sad, I'm happy. This thing happened, so I'm happy. It didn't happen, so I'm disappointed. We need to find that stillness within because we're so unattached that we're one with the light, we're unified with the light. And we feel fulfilled either way. So we're not shaken off of our core. I feel fulfilled. Didn't work out. I feel fulfilled. It did work out. I feel fulfilled. I won the lottery. I feel fulfilled. I lost it all. I feel fulfilled. I've been praised and been exalted. I feel fulfilled. I've been ridiculed. I've been mocked. I'm cursed. I feel fulfilled. Doesn't matter, right? It's unwavering. It's eternal. It's having affinity with God, with the light, right? It's being unwavering and sustaining. And so it's something that you have to fight for, and it's going to take discipline. But we can't practice, we can't become good soldiers if we don't go to battle, right? And we will always be going to battle because the opponent raises with us at every level to do the job of pushing us to our next level, antagonizing us, showing us our weaknesses, showing us our pitfalls, you know, where there's openings, where there's cracks to get in. Shows us our fear, our doubt, our lack, our low self-worth. And yeah, we make mistakes. But those are the moments where the highlighter comes out in our workbook, where we're like, oh, okay, I know what to go back and study now and fix for the next test. So it's all good. All right, who is going to be our animal helper? Ooh, wolf and oyster, taking those two. Ants working together, octopus creativity. I feel like octopus also has to do with maternal, like a divine mother energy as well. It's in that womb, the ocean. Okay. I know the wolf moon is usually, it's in the winter. It might be January or February, but it's in that cold, dark time of year. The wolf knows how to hunt. The wolf is like the warrior of the animal kingdom. The wolf can go it alone, or it can go with the pack. There's something about our instincts coming up. About getting grounded. And that self-mastery. It's about getting grounded. And grounding that energy so much and that certainty that our instincts are super sharp, right? We can smell the energy in the air. We can feel it. We have a sixth sense. We have like that dog scent. We have those dog ears, you know? We become aware. We're undomesticated. This is the untamed, but it's also the threat of the undomesticated, untamed is that Can point to the mind too. The mind that is untamed, undomesticated, that can run wild, right? It can be destructive, it can be dangerous. It can bite you, it can hurt you, it can hurt someone else. So we want to be self-mastered, right? Don't be this wild animal backed into a corner when the storm comes, right? Be self-mastered so that you can be a wise soldier, right? In a kung fu discipline, the master teaches the student how to use the opponent's force without applying any effort. So use the opponent's force against them just by maneuvering, right? By avoiding, by diverting them. Take the force and divert it away from yourself. We'll read Wolf. I feel like Oyster has to do with potential. Lots of potential coming through. So I'm going to read these. This isn't a deck that I use often, so I don't have these I don't know them. Ooh, Octopus was reaching, yearning, lacking boundaries and direction. Okay, so remember that all that you fought for this month as the warrior, keep those boundaries, keep that sense of direction, keep that sense of self. If you've entered into a new relationship and this is about being consistent and stable and not getting into a bunch of needless arguments, it's about having boundaries, holding on to the sense of self that you've taken time to establish and get to know and recalibrate, right? Not letting someone else's influence and energy seep in, right? Knowing how to guard your territory for now. Oyster. Okay, let's get Wolf first. Okay, guardian of family and tribe, activism, ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching religious or political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps. Although it will surely be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following: embrace all, exclude none. Ha! Okay, I see what's happening. You may come under heat and under fire for the changes and the growth and the unique self-expression that you have that other people don't approve of. And this has been a long time coming of having to fight for yourself, for your own identity, to not need permission from anyone else, and to excuse yourself from when they are casting judgment on you. And so you might be bringing people to a climactic point in the spring where they're coming at you and they're trying to step, and you just got to be like, hey, talk to the hand, right? Because this is my life, and I'm honoring myself and my authenticity and my truth, and you don't have to answer for me. So stop worrying about it. It may be your literal parents, it may not be, right? It may have to do with a theme of someone having to fight for you by going against their parents' expectations. And it's like, when would that happen? It happens to me. I mean, with the whole tarot thing, people disapprove, in the South. But yeah, I mean, it's just I mean, I can't not do this. It's my calling. And so, I don't know, that's an example of how that would come up sometimes, you know? And so, yeah, the wolf might be intolerant towards you. And so you might have to, in a very poised, loving way, express to them that you are your own person and they are their own person, and you have a boundary there, a healthy one, and that they need to honor that now. And you would like to be able to live and let live and be tolerant, because you're probably the tolerant one to others, and you're probably the one taking the heat most of the time for no reason, just by being yourself. So if you come under fire, don't worry. Lean into your certainty and know who you are, right? You're rooted at your core. You have been illuminated. You have been blessed. Like, you're being guided, but it may be triggering for people. Probably is. Okay. Oyster. Patient. Secret keeper. Hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is, oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. When in balance, feels blessed, generous, masterful. When out of balance, reluctant, gripping, clams up. To bring into balance, share something. So this is really exactly what I was thinking. People are gonna troll you for your uniqueness, and it's gonna make you feel like you're wrong, or you'll never belong, or that you have to shrink down to make everybody else comfortable and hide what light you've been given under the bushel basket. Meanwhile, while they disapprove, they still want your emotional and spiritual insight and support. And that is probably going to be coming to a head. And you're just going to gently and lovingly communicate your boundary. And you're going to continue sharing. And you're going to continue being you. Because what they're projecting on you isn't true. It's a test. It's an initiation. And if you're going to do great things in the world, you're going to trigger people. My philosophy professor in college used to say that if you don't leave class offended, we didn't go deep enough. And that's okay. You're probably going to trigger people. You probably do. If you're anything like me, you're so lucky you're triggering. You're supposed to be, though. That's the assignment for you. Whatever you do, though, don't let this make you feel shame or guilt about being seen, because this is what you've been working so hard to overcome. So don't lose your progress now. You've been illuminated. You have self-mastery. And the other thing about Saraswati is that she is an artist. She's a musician. She's the bard. She's the singer. She's the painter. She can express her creativity, right? That's her gift. She can shine her light out in the world to be seen. You don't want to clam this up. You don't want to shut it off and hide it away. All of that sand that has gone through that process, that lifelong process to create a pearl of wisdom, needs to be shared. Come hell or high water. So whatever somebody's throwing at you this month, it's not you, it's them. I gotta blow my nose. Okay, I'm back. It was very emotional, but I can relate very poignantly to this, and I'm with you, and I feel your pain if you're going through something similar. Many light workers deal with this. Okay. All right, let's pull 4 tarot cards, and then we'll pull 4 clarifying cards, and then we'll pull our winged enchantment. All right, you guys, what do we need to know? Spirit for the month. Knight of Swords. Okay, so 10 of Wands. Okay. All right. I see what's happening. Wow. Okay. Knight of Swords comes in all hot and fast and spicy. Sometimes the Knight of Swords has a tendency to be really blunt in the way that they say things, and they can be very indiscriminate in the way that they just start swinging. They just start taking swings, right? So, come at me, brah, is what's happening. You're just like, what? Or something very fast. Some kind of message comes in very fast. An energy is coming very fast at you and very blunt. It's like a rude message, rude awakening. The Knight of Wands, the Knight of Swords also is like they see something and they're like very sharp and they're astute and they just jump on it. So whether that's a task or whether that's a weakness or whether that's something. So if there are things that need to be done this month, great. Your focus is going to be sharp. You're going to be on it. Somebody might be very helpful in that regard. But if there is conflict, somebody might be very sharp in the way that they are picking at you, right? After we just talked about the wolf and the oyster. And it's going to be very unpleasant, but this is going to bring about the end of a very long pattern of overgiving to people who aren't returning the favor, and to putting yourself out there over and over and over again sincerely, and just getting these harsh people in your life. It's like you've been carrying the burden for everyone emotionally, and it's over and you're done with it. And so now you're like, I'm tired of this old raggedy ass life. I'm like getting cute. I've got my 2 things over here. I'm juggling my world over here with joy. I've got it all well in hand, thank you. And I'm off to a new start. And I'm finding balance. And I'm finding healing. And these people or persons, they're either gonna have to like get with it or like sayonara. Like, if you like the peach, great. If not, walk on by the tree. You know, like either you're in or you're out kind of thing. Like either we can work this out and learn to coexist in our village, in our tribe, and be happy and joyous And like, you know, we both have our differences. We both have our side of things, and that's fine. But it can't be all one-sided, right? And so you've had it with these situations. And so when this is coming to a boiling point, the way that this is going to have less damage is if you can maintain that solid stability inside, that centered groundedness, where you know who you are. You can see that their shit is their shit, and they're trying to throw their shit on you. But you've got shit shield now. Shit shield! And you're not having it. And you're not taking that on anymore. And you're not clamming up and hiding your light and what you have to say. What you have to say is important. It's valid. It's been something that has been developing in you, and that you've been going through this toil and pain on your own for so long, like leading to this beautiful gem of wisdom and experience. And it's yours. And no one else can point fingers at that. They didn't live your life. You did. And so this is a pattern that is being invited. Like, we would like to invite you to now be deceased pattern. Thou shalt pass away pattern, right? And so take the high road. Be loving. Be compassionate, but be honest, and have self-respect and value yourself. Have respect for the other. Show them care. Because I have a feeling 6 of Cups and 5 of Cups came up together, and I have a feeling they're going to be sorry. And they're already sorry, and they already have regrets. And so that's why things are already hairy. But I think that they might actually apologize for how they've been acting, or they might go away from whatever this is and come back later and be like, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. But this is some heartbreak from the past coming back. Or this is resolving a heartbreak from the past. Or finally acknowledging it and moving on. But I have a feeling that it does come with, like, I think it gets resolved, because it's just like, this is a very, like, this is a depiction of resolution. The inner child is at ease. You know, the nostalgia of the past has been put to rest. Like, you've come to terms, like, things weren't worse or better than you remember them, right? You're just looking at it, like, realistically. And maybe somebody offered you an apology. And maybe you can just forgive them either way. It doesn't mean that you have to let them in close and trust them if they're not trustworthy with your heart and your feelings, but you don't have to carry around the pain of, like, having hard feelings towards someone. Okay, let's get some clarity about these themes. Okay, it's time to juggle. Okay, so a lot going on in May, and so there's going to be probably a lot of activity going on in our material world as well as our emotional world. And so it's, you know, the more that we can resolve these emotional issues, the more it's going to open up magnetism and blessing in our material lives. So it's time to juggle. There's a lot of things that you have to keep in balance right now. So just try to have as much as you can through have as much fun as you can through the whole thing. Listen carefully. Deep listening. Open heart. Pay attention to others. Who are you listening to? So I think this has to do with when these conversations or this conflict comes up. Be very quick to listen and slow to respond. Be comfortable at allowing there to be silence so that you're not reacting from an emotional state and it's going to be destructive, right? And an unleashed chaos. Because once you say things, they can't be unsaid. Even if you tell someone you didn't mean it, even if you say, oh, I take it back, I'm so sorry, it still does the damage. And you still remember that they said it, and you always think that they meant it. Okay. Ooh. conflicting desire. Ooh, phase 3. And then save your money. So save your money. Don't be lavish spending. Even though money kind of starts flowing really good in the spring, save, pay off debt, start investing in like IRAs, 401ks, dividend paying funds, things like that. Start building savings that can grow savings. Either way, don't be careless with your money in May. Okay, a hidden conflicting desire. So there's a hidden conflicting desire in a situation that is blocking the fruition of the fulfillment of it. And so maybe that thing has come through, but it hasn't been fulfilling yet. It hasn't really found it hasn't settled in. It hasn't gotten good. Or maybe you're just not able to really get something started, or maybe something's not happening. Whatever you're coming up against, or you're hitting a wall or a plateau, in May, it's coming from an inner conflicting desire, which is something that is out of your consciousness, and it's hiding in your subconscious, and it's a desire or like a defense mechanism that is in direct conflict with what your conscious desire is, with what you're trying to call in. So, for instance, if you are trying to call in like a supportive partner, but you are also don't feel worthy of that level of what you want in a partner, or you don't feel like you're afraid of commitment, or you feel suffocated by like monogamy, then like that's gonna like keep people away. You're not gonna have real choices until you get straight inside of yourself with what it is that you actually want. If you want like a promotion, but inside you have this subconscious fear that it will cost you your whole work-life balance, and that your marriage will end because of it, just like your parents did, then that's gonna put out like the subconscious block that's gonna prevent you from getting that promotion, because it could be detrimental. Everyone's lives are at stake, right? So your subconscious at any given time might be blocking what you're trying to call in, because it either has an inner conflicting desire. Like, for instance, I love being in shape. I love working out. I love eating well. I also love ice cream and sweets. Fortunately, somehow, I've gotten to this miracle zone where it hasn't really been causing me any damage. Like, maybe I've hit just the right balance. But if I want to say, like, get in, like, to pristine shape for, I don't know, I don't really care, I'm really comfortable, but if I felt the need to, I'd probably need to cut out the sweets, right? But the inner conflicting desire is that, like, I really like, some occasional ice cream, much more than feeling like I have the perfect abs no matter which way I'm sitting. That's a conflicting desire for me, right? So I prioritize. But I bring it into my consciousness, right? So that I'm not owned by it, that, nothing owns me, nothing has mastery over me. Oh, which is what I started to talk about earlier, about how, Jesus, the man asked, like, Jesus, hey, I want to follow you, I want to be like you, what do I do? It's the rich man, and Jesus was like, yeah, give up all your possessions. It's like, it's about non-attachment, right? Because one time in Family Guy, the cartoon, somebody was like, it's communist Russia, car own you. But like, that's so true. It's like our possessions, we think we own them, but they really own us, right? And so don't let anything own you. Okay, and so this conflict is actually not a sign that things are bad, that you are off path, that you're in the wrong. Whatever shade is being thrown on you is part of creation phase 3. And if you've been tuning in for any given amount of time, we talk about creation phases 1 through 4 that we learn about Kabbalah classes from the Kabbalah Center. And so creation phase 1 is like getting the idea. It's a passive desire. It's like, oh, that'd be fun, but you're not like, you know what, I'm really passionate, I'm going to do this. Creation phase 2 is when you actually feel like that spark ignite where you're like, no, I am going to do this. I've connected with a sense of purpose around this. I know why I want to do it. Like, I'm feeling so passionate about it. And I'm going to like give it my all. And you start going in and you start giving the effort. And creation phase 3 is when the initial inspiration and honeymoon phase rubs off. And now it's just work. And you're grinding it out. And there's no end in sight. And you're not seeing the results. And then there's a moment where you're like, okay, I think that I need to like take this big risk or like overcome this big thing. And like, you know, it's like that big like final like initiation where it's like, if you make this sacrifice or if you overcome this lifelong battle of, you know, with this part of your personality, or you put yourself out on the line, like that's the thing that's supposed to like, you know, at the end of the movie, it's like, then it all works out. And then there's a moment where it's like, it's just crickets. And it doesn't seem like it's going to work out. And you legitimately are like, I literally don't know if all of this has been a waste, but there's something within me that this is like, it's so purposeful that I can't stop now. Like, I can't not do this. And so you push through creation phase 3, through the uncertainty. That's where you're tested. That's where you, like, the universe is like, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? How much are you willing to work for this? Have you built the vessel to sustain this once you get it? Because the only way you can sustain this vessel is if you're willing to work so hard that you'll do it even if you get the results or you don't get the results. Because the fulfillment that you found is in the process of the self-discovery, the transformation of giving yourself to something and making it not about you, but it's about sharing. It's about receiving for the sake of sharing, for making the world better. And so you continue to do it anyway. And that is when you're in the miracle zone to open up creation phase 4, which is the manifestation. So this trial, this tribulation that we may be in April and May, is creation phase 3. And when somebody's throwing shade and making you second guess yourself, you hold strong, you hold true to that self-mastery, knowing this is creation phase 3. And this is part of it. This is part of God testing me to see, am I determined? Have I built stamina? Have I built grit? Have I built backbone? Do I crumble in you know, under pressure, in the face of resistance? Or do I believe? You know, do I have courage of my convictions? All right. Let's see what we have from our bird messengers. Oh my goodness, the lark. Eee. She's looking like she goes, wee! Let me find lark. 19. Ooh, my birthday's April 19th. Okay. The bird messengers are so specific that I always read the book on this. I like never just like wing it. No pun intended. I am lark, the endearing song of the soul. I am voice. I am the wandering bard. Oh my God. She was the bard. I am everything that resonates through sound. I will teach you to use your words and how to make them magic. I will give you a purpose for everything you utter. I will give you a clear intent for every expression you release. Everything you say permeates the cosmos. I am the chant that awakens. I am the mantra that focuses thought. I am the love ballad and the victory song. I am here to free your voice and show you how to direct it towards your destiny. You have kept quiet for too long, and it's time to awaken your senses. Speak with clarity and intent. Express with depth and purpose. Pay close attention as your words reverberate around you. You are in tune with the cosmos. You are manifestation. You are harmony. You are lark. I'm just like really torn up about this in a good way. It's very, very validating from source, you know, very validating from source that your purpose matters, even if people have told you that they don't understand it or that it's wrong or whatever. You were meant to be triggering to them. When it talked about being protective, it was up to you to mentor your tribe, your group. It may be up to you to have this battle because you have to protect the integrity of the whole, of the group. You may be the Death Eater of the family, the shaman, the healer, the mystic, right? And by doing that, you have to eat the sins of the generation and process them and show them to the family and let the family be triggered and take all the flack, but speak the truth because it's your job. And no one is going to give you the microphone. In fact, they're going to probably try to unplug your amp. But we're doing it. We're saying it. But be careful how you say it and what you say, because your words matter. They have an effect and they will resonate. So take your time. Be loving. This is not a time to get cute, to be self-aggrandized. All of this clickbait shit about like so-and-so owned this person and blah, blah, blah. Like that garbage is fucking just a bunch of porn. It's a bunch of ego porn. With a world full of horrors, like do we still have to be petty, you know, bastards, sons of bitches? Just get along. Be kind, be vulnerable. You can be kind and vulnerable and still be challenging to people, trust me. All right. Wow. Big stuff, y'all, big stuff. But just don't forget, your song needs to be sung. You may need to watch this twice. There was a lot here. Go back and watch every video on the channel. Kidding. All right, y'all. Happy May. The Ides of May, you guys. The Ides of May. Oh, I'm just thinking about this. So in May, right after Passover, there is a time period called the Omar. And it is like we receive so much light to break free from the things that enslave, that own us, have mastery over us. We leave Egypt, right, in Passover. We break the chains. We break the addictions, the codependencies, whatever. But so we get all this light, but in order to embody that light, we have to go through a process, which is like a few weeks of testing, which is the Omar, which is, that's why all this is coming up in May. So nothing to worry about. It's always kind of hairy in May. April and May, that's what the time of year brings. So it's, you know, ruled by Mercury and Apollo and Mars. So it's like war and communication. So there's definitely a lot of energy going around that time of year, this time of year. All right, well, Godspeed out there. Ciao.